Hello, good afternoon to you. Welcome to Hard Factor 90.3 Nigeria Info and here in Port Harcourt. I'm Dio. It's 18 minutes gone past 3 p.m. and conversation continues at this time. Many thanks for staying tuned. Welcome. I hope you've had yourselves a fine Thursday so far. And from now till about 7, we'll keep it going and hope the rest of the day works out as brilliantly or even better. Now that's better, obviously. Welcome once again. And once again as well, thanks for joining in. Let's see, a few matters we're going to be discussing on today's edition of Hard Facts, one at a time, of course. We've got the usual side comments, random stories, random thoughts that I came across as I checked out the news today. Those thoughts of mine or stories will not be discussed now until much later on during the open season segment, which comes up after the major news at 6 p.m. Now, I've got a rant as well today, expressing my thoughts on some major issue. I'll be taking your responses on mine till my thoughts till 4 p.m. Business news comes up at that time, and afterwards, let's see. Does Nigeria need Jonathan back? We'll be looking at that in the 4 o'clock hour. Does Nigeria need President Goodluck Jonathan back? Well, here's a story courtesy the Punch newspaper. Such story is captioned, will 2023 presidency will give Jonathan a chance to contest? That's according to the APC. Alright, once again, 2023 will give Jonathan a chance to contest. That's according to the APC. You can find details of that story in the Punch newspaper. Alright, once again, details of that in the Punch. Maybe could take a look at some part of it right now before moving on. The APC says former President Goodluck Jonathan will be given an opportunity to contest for the 2023 presidency if he joins the ruling party. National Secretary, APC caretaker and extraordinary Convention Planning Committee John Akpano Doede said this while featuring as a guest on TV. He said this when asked about the speculation that Jonathan is considering to join the ruling party. The APC official also said the ex-president will be granted a founding member status if he joins. He, however, said the opportunity that will be given to Jonathan is not automatic, noting that he would compete with other members of the party before getting the ticket. He said, and I quote, "I am hearing that for the first time that we are expecting a former president. That will be great news. We will welcome him. That will also strengthen the party." The last National Executive Council of the party actually gave a blanket approval to any individual that if you join the APC today, it is as if you are a founding member of the party. So anyone who joins today has the same opportunity to run for any office in this party. It has always been so I am not speculating. But the PDP has dispelled reports that Jonathan was about to dump the party for the APC ahead of the 2023 elections. So we'll look at that in the 4 o'clock hour. Does Nigeria need Jonathan back in Aso Villa, in Aso Rock? It's not Jonathan contesting on the APC platform what Nigeria needs at this time. There is another related matter to be discussing. I'll be joined by Honorable Samuel Wanasike, who's chairman of the current local government area here in Rivers State, and of course, obviously, a member of the People's Democratic Party. So we'll discuss that in the 4 o'clock hour. At 6:05, we've got the news update at 5 p.m. After that, Kyari to the U.S., yes or no? We'll take a look at that as well. Courtesy this story from the Vanguard newspaper. Hush puppy. Final decision on Abba Kyari's extradition will be taken by Buhari, and that's according to a police minister. Yeah, that's according to the police minister. I can find once again details of that in the Vanguard newspaper. But a cursory look at that story. Police Affairs Minister Mohammed Megari Dengiadi said on Tuesday night the final decision on request for extradition of suspended head of the intelligence intelligence response team, DCP Abba Kyari, would be taken only by President Muhammadu Buhari. For the love of God. Okay, he also said the police authorities were awaiting the final decision on former acting chairman of EFCC, Ibrahim Magu, to know what to do with him. You might remember that Kyari was suspended from office to answer allegations of complicity in the $1.1 million bribe fraud perpetrated by Ramon Abbas, aka Hush Puppy, who was arrested in Dubai in the UAE and extradited to the US for trial. Speaking on TV, Dingyari said the federal government was trying to ensure that due diligence was done on the matter because it had international connotations. So basically, what role does the president have in Kyari's extradition? Does the president have a role in Kyari's possible extradition? We'll be discussing this in the 5 o'clock hour. My guest, Barrister Richard Wokocha, will join me for that conversation. We've got headlines 5:30, major news at 6 p.m. Open season comes up afterwards. That's a summary of today's show. Till about 7 o'clock, when we wrap things up officially, the sports gang will be in for extra time. So let's set the ball rolling right now as we take a look at some of the stories that caught my attention earlier today in today's edition of Side Comments. The most wanted man, most wanted. He's been seen, he's been found. He went missing for a while. This was on our news. Tambere Godwin Barra, who was abducted on Monday evening, has been freed by his abductors. Now, speaking with Nigeria Info FM shortly after his release, Mr. Godwin Barra said he was abducted on his way home after boarding a black saloon car he thought was a taxi. He said an argument between his abductors led to his release this morning around the Choba Bridge area. Now, remember who he is. Mr. Godwin Barra was one of the 2 or 3 persons declared wanted by the Rivers State government over allegations of criminal activities and harassment of contractors, especially Julius Berger in the state. Remember him? Yeah, remember him? He was the man I was supposed to have an interview with on Monday. You might remember that. And I read an SMS that he sent to me on Monday. That SMS once again reads thus: "Good evening, sir. Please, in regards to the interview, I can't come on again by 5 p.m. because of my state of health now, and secondly, for my safety purpose. Thanks for your total understanding." Yeah. So apparently he was abducted, reportedly he was abducted Monday evening at about the time he was due to or preparing to do an interview with me. Let's hear what he's had to say to our reporter who spoke with him earlier today, I suppose, possibly earlier today, or earlier definitely.
On Monday evening, on my way back to my home, I boarded a taxi from Casablanca in Jare, heading to Ajib Junction. So by the time I drove from the taxi, I saw another taxi, a black saloon car. The moment I entered, one of the men at the back called me by my name, and I answered, said, "Send a text message to that press interview you want to attend by 5 o'clock. Tell the person that you're not coming any longer due to the state of your health and for safety purposes." So I was compelled to send that text where I was taken to. So I was there for days.
By the way, that's the text I just read out. So he was billed to be on to do an interview with me Monday evening, and according to him, he was abducted by some persons, unknown persons. He was asked to send a text message to me cancelling, stating that he cannot make that interview. Once again, said text message I read out just a while ago. And in case you missed it, here's the text message once again. "Good evening, sir. Please, in regards to the interview, I can't come on again by 5 p.m. because of my state of health now. And secondly, for my safety purpose, thanks for your total understanding." So, well, thankfully, reportedly, he's been released by his abductors now, and we'll simply wait and see how that situation plays out. But fascinating, really interesting times we are in right now. One moment you you ask for better working conditions for you and your colleagues. The next moment you're declared, you go for a meeting. The moment after that, you're declared wanted by the River State government. Next moment you try to go into hiding of sorts, because you're concerned for your life. The next moment you want to you agree to grant an interview to a radio station. That interview is announced on air shortly afterwards. Next moment you are allegedly abducted by certain persons. Next moment you are asked to send the presenter a text message that you can't make the interview again. The next moment you're released a couple of days afterwards. Next moment, like I mentioned a while ago, interesting times we really are in at this time. Well, let's see what other stories caught my attention as I checked out the news today. Well, Information Minister Lai Mohammed has again said a Twitter ban would soon be lifted. He gave the update while addressing newsmen after Wednesday's Federal Executive Council meeting. Let's hear what the Honourable Minister had to say about the situation with Twitter. Where is that? All right, here we are.
I think even Twitter itself 2 days ago gave a progress report on our talks with them. If I want to quote them rightly, they say it's been productive and quite respectful. And as to how soon is soon, I want to assure you that the time that Twitter's operation has been suspended and when it will be restored is by far much shorter. That I can assure you. In other words, if the operation has been suspended for about 100 days now, you can tell that we're just actually talking about a few more days.
All right, so we'll see how that goes, and it will be interesting times to see. Like I said a while ago, interesting times we are in right now. It will be really interesting to see what other ace the federal government has up their sleeves by the time access to Twitter by Nigerians is reinstated. One wonders if there's going to be any caveat, if there are going to be any conditions, because I just sense that might be the case. I don't know that it will be the case, but like I said, interesting times we are in, really. Now, back to the earlier story of the most wanted former Julius Berger staff who was declared wanted by the River State government, allegedly kidnapped as well, just as he prepared to do an interview on Hard Facts on Monday. And this was on the news earlier today. Augustina Godwin-Barra, wife of Godwin-Barra, who was declared wanted by the River State government, says she's shattered after her husband went missing since Monday. She told our correspondent her husband last spoke to her around 4 p.m. on Monday and said he was coming home to grant a telephone interview to a popular radio station in Port Harcourt. By the way, it was Nigeria Info. She said when she tuned to the radio, the presenter, that's myself, said her husband sent a text message saying he wouldn't show up for the interview due to health and safety reasons. Let's hear what the wife had to say about that matter. That was earlier, of course. I imagine the situation may have changed now, as she may now be aware her husband has secured his release, supposedly. So, but here's what she said.
At that moment, the thing dawned on me that my husband cannot send him that message without reaching house for me to know the reason why he will not attend to that interview. So immediately I picked up my phone. I started calling. His number was switched off. I said maybe he has a low battery. Throughout yesterday, we went to different police stations. We went to Moscow Road to ask them if actually, since they were being declared wanted, if the River State government has apprehended my husband. I'm just so shattered. I don't know what to do. All I'm begging the state government, they should please lift the ban first and release my husband for whatever they've kept him. I'm begging with everything I hold sacred.
Mrs. Barra said that she suspects foul play and questioned why her husband was singled out of the many Julius Berger workers that protested last week.
Deep down inside me, I still sense a foul play, because they lured my husband to come for a meeting in their office last month, and they wrote down my husband's name, and that was what led to his termination and being declared wanted, because the over 1,000 workers went for that protest. Why would it be only 3 people? To tell you that there is something attached to this that they've not really told me. I'm still pleading on behalf of I and the children. We are still pleading that they should please release my husband for me.
All right. Well, reportedly, he's been released right now. But like I said, once again, interesting times we're in right now, and we'll see how this matter plays out. We'll definitely keep an eye on the situation and keep reporting to you as things do play out. The principal of Comprehensive Secondary School Nkume in Jaba in Imo State, where some students were prevented from writing English language subjects and the ongoing WAEC exams, say they were chased out of the school by gunmen who arrived in motorcycles shooting into the air. The principal, Ambrose Ireko, narrated the incident in an interview. Unfortunate times, as interesting as the times are, they are most unfortunate as well. For some funny reason, by the same gunman, he said they now have to change venue for exams daily. Yep, they have to change venue for exams daily. A most unfortunate situation indeed. And I don't know. I'm sure if you ask the IPOP people, they'll probably tell you that it wasn't them. But of course, the whole sit-at-home declaration started with IPOP, and now they deny that they know anything about it, but still going about issuing threats to people. The fundamental questions here for me is, did IPOP members unleash violence on people who did not obey their sit-at-home order when their order was supposedly in force? Who are those, by the way, who are trying to enforce the sit-at-home order now and preventing school children in the southeastern part of the country from taking part in examinations? Who are those responsible for this? Many questions that require answers, of course. So that will be a wrap on today's side comments. I go on a break right now. When I return, got a round coming up. Please stay with us.
Keeping up with political issues and developments around you, only on Nigeria Info.
We connect you to the world. We connect you to the vicinity. We are Nigeria Info.
Listen to me, I said this is a real situation and the government has to do something about it. What are you trying to insinuate? All these people looting Nigeria's money?
This is Nigeria Info. In the heart of Nigeria. 92.3. We are Nigeria Info.
Are you running late and can't make it down to our Rumorsi office to book your commercials? Don't worry, because you can take advantage of our marketing office inside Port Harcourt to book your commercials. It is located at Shop 9 Mediatrix of All Graces Plaza, opposite FIRS Stadium Road, Port Harcourt. You can also call our sales rep on 0817-001-8162. That's 0817-001-8162.
Information is a two-way thing. Nigeria Info, it's your turn. Let's talk.
And now, Hard Facts. Hard Facts with Adeayo.
Okay, Mark, it is Hard Facts 90.3 Nigeria Info and here in Port Harcourt. I'm Adeayo, and I'd like to rant for just a bit on some issue on my mind. I'll be expressing some thoughts on it, and you're very welcome to express your thoughts and mine till 4 p.m. And usually, as I've said numerous times, the rants, my rants are mostly a reminder. That's what they are. I'm quite convinced that I do not see anything in the veil. I do not say anything new. I do not say anything that you very likely are not already aware of. Simply a reminder, either to us as citizens, either to leadership or political office holders or anyone, or agencies of government or people started with responsibilities. Mostly, by and large, they're simply reminders of things that we are very likely all too aware of and possibly even familiar with as well. And today's rant is no exception. Today's rant is a reminder once again to security agencies that for all intents and purposes they serve the people. Yes, especially for the Nigerian Armed Forces, the president may be the commander-in-chief, and obviously so, because somebody has to take charge. You can't have an army without someone commanding the army. What you have is might be many things, but would not be good for any society. I mean, imagine an army that has no commander, an army that has no arrowhead, an army that doesn't take orders from a specified, identified source. That is a definite, a sure recipe for chaos and anarchy. So, for that to be prevented, any army requires leadership, a commander, and as is the case with the democracies of the kind that we are practicing, the presidential system, the president would be the commander-in-chief. But even though the president commands the Nigerian Armed Forces, the Nigerian Armed Forces, just like the president, serves the people. Yes, the president is referred to as His Excellency. Where we got that, I'm not sure. But His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, or the President and Commander-in-Chief, rather, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, even as high and exalted as that position is, the President also serves at the pleasure of the people. The President serves Nigerians, and the same goes for governors and everybody else for that matter, excellencies and honorables. They all serve the people. So if the President, and this is very important for our servicemen to note, including our gallant officers here in Rivers State, if the President serves the people, then it's elementary logic, and I hope you get it. If the President, who is the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, is elected to serve the people, then the armed forces that he commands automatically, logically serves the people as well. And it's important that you remember that in your dealings with Nigerians and in your actions. But unfortunately, the comportment of the Nigerian armed forces suggests very strongly that first, they do not know that they serve the people, and even if they know and they're told, it appears that they may not care very much about that and might be convinced that they serve other purposes or other interests beyond the interests of the people. I mean, there are numerous examples, they abound, that may support this hypothesis. But let's check out this story, cut to the Punch newspaper. It may lend some credence to this line of thought. Now, the said story is captioned, NAF, that's NAF, makes a U-turn, admits unfortunate bombing of civilians in Yobe. Here's the story. After initial denial, the Nigerian Air Force on Thursday admitted that one of its fighter jets on a mission against terrorists unfortunately bombed civilians in Yobe State on Wednesday. Let's start with that for a moment. The initial denial. Why do the separate arms of the Nigerian armed forces make it a habit to always deny when there are reports or allegations of unbecoming behavior of their personnel? The default mode is to deny. I mean, we can't forget in a hurry the usual slogan here in Rivers State of they are not our men. We did not send them. We don't know who they are. They could be hoodlums who are dressed in police uniforms or military gear, depends on which agency is involved in this case, But one very, very common term, very often used by the police, especially River State Command, maybe not so often these days, they've stopped using that, is they are not our men. The tendency, the zeal, the swiftness, the quickness, quickness, I believe is a good term to use, to deny I mean, what you would expect in sensible scenarios with sensible persons is responses such as, we have received this report, we are investigating to determine its authenticity, and where people are found erring, they will be dealt with accordingly, and we will inform the public accordingly when we have concluded our investigations and come out with our findings. That would be something sensible, but no, they're very quick to deny and say it wasn't us. And then afterwards, when they're embarrassed into submission, they come out to say, you know what, we didn't have all the information yet. Back to the story. NAF Director of Public Relations and Information, Edward Gapquet, disclosed this in a statement made available to journalists today, adding investigations have commenced into the incident. The Punch of the LA reported that residents of Buhari community in the Unisari local government area of Yobe State on Wednesday claimed that a NAF fighter jet rained bullets from the skies and killed 9 people in the area, while several other villagers sustained injuries. Air Force spokesman said on Wednesday denied reports linking one of its fighter jets to the bombing. And the question is, did the Nigerian Air Force not know that it had a fighter jet in that area at about that time? Did the Nigerian Air Force not know that its fighter jet engaged people in combat mode at that time, rained bullets? Is it possible that there could have been a time, no matter how short that time frame is, whether it was 5 hours or 5 minutes or 5 seconds, that the Nigerian Air Force did not know that one of its fighter jets engaged people in combat? How that's even possible completely beats me. Now, he on Wednesday denied this report. Gapquet had explained that the mission last conducted by NAF in Yobe was earlier in the month. So that means that there was such a communication gap with the Nigerian Air Force that for a moment some persons did not know. Some persons as high up as the spokesperson of the Air Force did not know that they had conducted an operation in Yobe State. And as far as he was concerned, the last operation was earlier in the month. Now, quote, NAF last conducted a mission into Yobe State, not Unisari LGA, on September 5, 2021, and it was an armed race, that's an informal term for reconnaissance, being a military observation of a region to locate an enemy or ascertain strategic features. No bomb or missile was even expended, he'd said. But in a statement on Thursday, the same NAF spokesperson said that the initial press release denying the involvement of NAF aircraft was based on the first report available at the time. What does first report even mean, for crying out loud? It's either there was a mission or there was no mission. Could there have been a mission and a report from the same Air Force says there was no mission? Now, in a statement titled "Investigation Commences on Alleged Aircraft Firing of Civilian Settlements," Gapquet said that the location of the incident was a notorious lair for terrorists and well known for continuous Boko Haram ISWAP activities. Even if that were the case, are the civilians to blame for that? Are they the ones responsible for Boko Haram and ISWAP activities being predominant in that local government area or in their vicinity? Now, the statement goes on. Following intelligence on Boko Haram ISWAP movement along the Kama-Dugu-Yobe Riverland, an aircraft from the air component of Operation Hadinkai was detailed to respond to the suspected terrorist activities in the area along the Nigeria-Niger border at about 0600 hours on 15 September 2021. The aircraft, while operating south of Kanama, observed suspicious movement consistent with Boko Haram terrorist behavior whenever a jet aircraft is overhead. Accordingly, the pilot fired some probing shots. It's important to state the area is well known for continuous Boko Haram ISWAP activities. So it will be interesting for the Air Force to explain how it is that the Boko Haram terrorists behave whenever there's a jet aircraft overhead, and what exactly the civilians did that was similar to how Boko Haram would respond when there is a jet overhead. There's nothing funny about it. People lost their lives here. Now, back to the statement. Unfortunately, reports reaching Nigerian Air Force headquarters allege that a nation release denied the involvement of NAF aircraft was based on the was not carrying bombs. Therefore, a board of inquiry has been set up to thoroughly investigate the circumstances of the incident. The question is, or another question is, when incidents like this happen, what happens afterwards? because it's not the first time things like this have happened, and there are no reports of anybody being sanctioned for these errors or these, I don't know, mistakes that's led to people dying. There's no report of any kind of compensations or, for the affected families. We don't ever hear anything like that. Now, of recent, fighters in Nigerian military jets on missions against terrorists and other criminals have been alleged to have bombed innocent Nigerians, including soldiers, due to alleged miscalculations. In April 2021, over 20 soldiers on ground were allegedly slain in Minok, Borno State, when a NAF fighter jet responding to attacks on a military camp by Boko Haram insurgents bombed the military camp based on a wrong coordinate. Gapwet had said the incident was under investigation. In August 2021, despite pictorial evidence that a military chopper opened fire on both passengers carrying foodstuff while traveling from Port Harcourt to Bonny Island in Rivers State, injuring them in the process, Defense Headquarters had said those shots were illegal. Those who were shot were illegal oil bunkerers. So, another mistake has happened in Yobe State. Reportedly 9 civilians killed, others injured. So what happens? What happens now? Is that it? Yes, it was a mistake. I don't know, maybe wrong coordinates. Yeah, the way they were moving like Boko Haram move. Why would they be moving like Boko Haram people move when they see fighter jets? It's not that's the problem. These people just move anyhow. You see fighter jets moving anyhow, moving the way like Boko Haram and ISWAP move. That's why the pilot or whoever it is engaged them and fired them and killed 9 of them. But it's sad, it's unfortunate. Maybe mistakes like this do happen the world over, maybe. But even when they do happen, the thing is, what happens afterwards? Is anybody sanctioned for this? Is there any punishment? Are there any consequences? And what happens to the people who have suffered as a result of this erroneous error or this mistake that's led to the killings of people for nothing short of them allegedly moving like Boko Haram or ISWAP moves when they sight fighter jets? A reminder once again to our armed forces: you serve the people. You serve the people. On that note, I end my rant. Thanks for listening. Join the conversation. Any thoughts in mind? Lines are open: 0817 963 0002 or 0003 or 0007. We're live on Facebook.com/Nigerian for PH, and WhatsApp is on 0809 0306416. Keep it brief and straight to the point. John Shataka on Facebook goes, it's not the first time they're trained to massacre innocent civilians. Well, that's not true. I'm sure the armed forces do a lot of great work, but unfortunately, incidents like this have been known to happen from time to time. Cosmos Udeme goes, does it mean the flight captain couldn't distinguish between civilians and Boko Haram terrorists? This is a sign and show of incompetence and unprofessionalism. It's quite unfortunate how Nigerian civilians are being massacred by terrorists, bandits, police and military on a daily basis. I don't think to be a Nigerian is a crime. Please, they should let us live. Prince Hekaram goes, it's laughable. Sometimes I'm pushed to ask if we actually have a government in this nation, that things are just going abnormally. Every day they will mistakenly kill innocent people, deny and later come up with lies. Last time they shot a Bonny market boat and later came up with a fabricated story. Today it has repeated itself. One day they may shoot at the president's convoy. Let's see if the presidency will express shock or swing into action. Okay, I don't know which numbers do we have available right now. Can I know which numbers are available? When what other lines am I supposed to try? So when I'm being told there to try other lines, which ones in the studio? We only have 0817 here. There's only 0817 there. Which are the ones? Okay, 0817 923 0002. 0817 923 0003, 0817 923 0007. Okay, I'll add this last one, 0817 923 0009. Those are the only numbers I have here in the studio. There are no other numbers here in the studio. WhatsApp on 0809 030 6416. Let's go over to WhatsApp right now, see what's happening over there. Via WhatsApp, hi Dio, how you been able to draft these runs for about 878 days since 2017? I started listening to you. Something tells me that you may be missing out of millions to your account for not going into script writing for movie for movie makers. Kudos to you for always educating us and keep up politicians and security operatives on the track of morality and professionalism. That's on Jeff and Phil. Jeff, thanks very much. Di, good afternoon. Why would they be moving as if they are Boko Haram? Now look at what they brought upon themselves. At times our enforcement act so unprofessional, more especially in this administration. Too bad. That's excellent from Amagwa. I'm worried, and I think we all should be worried. The error margin of these operations lack the much talked about military precision. Every military error results in collateral damage. That's why precision is key. If you erroneously kill law-abiding citizens, such alien officers should be seen as turning such weapons on the state and should be treated as an enemy of the state. Enough, that's from Imar Gold. Gonna die, let's face it, no arm of the Nigerian security agency is answerable to the people. The police kill without provocation and nothing happens. At the end, no one takes responsibility, no one gets sanctioned, no compensation paid whatsoever. Sad. That's from Newton Akire. My heart bleeds. Let them not make a mistake and fire at government functions or during campaigns, and they will say they are sorry. That's from Magnus Edo. During their training in their various camps, they were taught in their technical report writing, when your men make mistakes, lie by saying it's not our men. 2, we did not know. These guys repeatedly proven that they don't know anything. Who gave the jet the information to attack? Do they know? That's Ubong from Woji. Hello, Hardfact, you're welcome.
Hello, Mr. Mayo, good afternoon.
Go ahead.
Now that the air fighter went away, and the spokesman didn't know that the air fighter went away, they should at least do the public a favor by telling us how people conduct themselves like Boko Haram. You should tell us we are listening to hear how you can move around.
So that the rest of us should not move around like that, right?
Yes. They have to tell us. They should give us a detailed account of how Boko Haram moves so we can learn. Thank you.
Yeah, he has a valid point, especially people in the northeastern part of the country. Another part of the north might have terrorist activities going on. You know, the people there, civilians, should be told how Boko Haram moves so that they will not move in the same way as well and get shot and killed. Hello, 90.3.
Dad, how are you?
Very well, go ahead.
The worst form of leadership is that of denial, and that is where my problem lies. You know, the reason why they brought the second statement now is because the governor, Maima Labdi, raised alarm that his people were really killed. Because if we were in this part of the world, our own governors would have been silent, and it will end like that. Tomorrow, I told you the other day that the only thing in Nigeria need to be killed by policemen on the road now or any of the security agencies is for them to rush to the media and place some flag, maybe Biafran flag before you, or some charms that behaved like that of Sunday Igboho. Or maybe your head were looking like the head of Nnamdi Kanu, and that will end it. Every now and then, they deny. That is where my pen lies. Where people are supposed to take responsibility. Okay, we made some mistakes here. We apologize. We pay compensation. And you know that these people are working for the people. But immediately, they will rush to the media and make a press statement and deny that it's not us. It was not our men or the opposition or the media. We are using that to blackmail us. And that is very unfortunate, Dad. Thank you very much.
Quite so indeed. I got an interesting comment here. Good day on your rant on the activities of the military. Most persons in carrying out the professional duties make mistakes, including you, Dio. You don't know anything about military activities. You talk too much. That's from Chris. Chris, good to hear from me. And you're absolutely right. I don't know everything. Maybe I don't even know a lot. And I definitely don't know about military activities because I'm not a trained military official. And you're also right. A lot of people make mistakes. Professionals in other fields make mistakes as well. That's part of what makes us human. However, certain mistakes are more grievous than others, and the consequences of certain mistakes are more are bigger than others. You know, if the person who is give an example, I don't know, the person who is typing up a script for you or your project as a student makes a mistake, the consequence of that is not the same as an Air Force fighter jet making a mistake about who to fire from his aircraft. The consequences are definitely different. And even my mistakes, if I make mistakes here in the studio, it could have some adverse consequences, no doubt about that. But once again, even my mistakes can't be compared to an Air Force fighter, an Air Force pilot who makes a mistake about who he should fire with his jet or from his plane. The consequences are different. And that's why also the level of training, the level and intensity of the training that that fighter pilot gets is not the same as the person who is typing up project for students at Uniport. And it's definitely not the same as the level of training that I've received and will still get in the future in the practice of my broadcast journalism profession. So you see that to whom, once again, it goes with the saying, to whom much is given, much is definitely expected. So I think we'll be wrapping it up on this note. And just a reminder once again to our security operatives, use of people. And when mistakes like this happen, questions must be asked. So what have we done about it? How did this mistake come about? Because we always say investigations are being conducted, but nobody ever, I doubt if it's ever happened, has come out to say this is the result of the investigation. This person, it was simply a mistake, an honest mistake, or this person did something wrong, and these are the sanctions that have been meted out. And to those, the surviving persons, to the families of those who lost their lives, this is compensation that's being given to them or been awarded to them by God. Well, how come we never hear any of those things? Or does it mean that because people can make mistake, is mistake now? I think that's what Chris is saying. Don't people make mistake? You make mistake also. So if the military or Air Force mistakenly shoots 10 people or 20 people and they die, all mistake is mistake now. I think that's the message Chris would like us to believe. Anyways, it's 4 p.m. Break for the business news. Discussions continue afterwards. Does Nigeria need Jonathan back in office on the platform of the APC even? When I return, please stay with us.